A couple of days ago, I reviewed this bad boy. This is the Zhiyun Crane 2S. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out right here. But in that review video, I mentioned that the roll motor is at a fixed position directly right behind the LCD monitor on your camera. And a lot of people actually didn't like how that roll motor, this thing right here, is blocking that viewfinder. Now there is a little hack that you can do to actually drop this roll motor, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in today's video. Now to start off, you do need a set of tools, and that set includes a small Phillips head screwdriver and an Allen key. I'll leave links to where you can pick those up in the description box below. Also, you do need steady hands when doing this because we are going to be refeeding the wiring that goes to the roll motor. To start off, make sure that your camera is removed from the gimbal. After that, locate all of the screws that you need to be removing. There's two Phillips head screws that are very small, and they are in charge of securing the wire cover. And the rest of the screws are just simple Allen keys that connect the roll motor to the rest of the gimbal frame. After that, prop the gimbal on your table and make sure that when you place your gimbal on your table that the roll motor is constantly being supported. Start removing all of these screws. Make sure that your gimbal is constantly being supported, otherwise it will just fall apart. Once you removed all of the screws, gently, and I mean gently, wiggle out the roll motor. Once you've wiggled out the roll motor, you should be able to take out the extension arm. After this, position the gimbal upright, and now we will reattach the roll motor. Now we're approaching the tough part, and that is tucking in and securing the wiring into this new form of a gimbal. Make sure you do this very gently and try your best not to pinch any of the cables because you might run into some issues down the road. Tuck in the wiring into the pan adjustment arm. Folding the wiring and then tucking it in seems to be a good way of doing this. Never ever use a sharp tool to poke around into the wiring to make sure you tuck it in. Always do it using your fingers. This will take a little bit of time because the wiring is not used to being tucked into such a small space. So make sure that you just wiggle around the wiring a little bit so that way it becomes more flexible, and that way it will be much easier to tuck in that wiring. Now place your roll motor over the pan adjustment arm. Make sure that the screw holes line up perfectly. Don't pinch any of the wiring. Try your best to make sure that everything fits perfectly. If it doesn't, you'll be left with pinch wiring and it will degrade over time. Now reattach the Allen key screws and make sure they're good and tight. After that, reattach your camera to the gimbal, turn it on, and make sure that everything is working. I strongly suggest that you do the auto tune feature after this little modification. That way the gimbal's motors will perform properly. And just like that, you have a completely different gimbal with the roll motor out of the way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.